let's move on. Time to intro the featured artist for the night. These guys are really great. Once I heard their music, I barely listened to about 30 seconds of it, and I knew that I wanted to have them as a featured artist just because of how they are. Real, like, sort of old school flavor and true wordsmiths in my mind. They don't, their rhymes and raps and stuff are truly original and go on. And we're going to let them talk about it. I like it a lot. So, Kinship, how are you doing tonight? Your brothers, we got Australia and Michael, right? So, what's up, guys? How you doing? Uh-oh, Rob's.
There we go.
There we go.
I think
Rob,
we're unmuted now. We're doing great, man. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. Like I was telling you earlier, this is the time where I want you guys to just sort of give your elevator pitch of your music. Basically just who you are and what you're doing. And then we're going to check out your song, Love You Like That. If you could just make a few words about that as well. We'll come back and we'll get deeper with Dave.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. So, we're Kinship. We've been around, man. We're old. You can tell by the gray in the beard,
I got gray in my beard too.
Yeah, no doubt. But we just basically create entertainment at this point in our careers. Started off as MCs, writing songs, doing shows, had a couple deals on the table. We were conscious rap, gangster rap came in. We were like, nope, we're not doing that. Went to college, got careers, had families and children and all that stuff. And so now, man, we're at a point to where we just can be free and create. And it's a lifestyle. It's what we do. We came up in the era where you had to really MC. You had to, write rhymes that had to mean something. People had to, you had to be ready to display skill.
And you had to have technique.
Yeah.
Just
yep.
put stuff out.
Right. And so, nowadays it's a little different. And I'm not knocking the young cats, but it is what it is. So, but that being said, Love You Like That is a song that, as fathers, Mike and I, we've got daughters. And so we just wanted to take a stand and say, look, there's another voice in hip hop.
Yeah.
And you can display a different message than the one that's been, pushed to us so heavily in the mainstream. So this is our little take on, giving people something else to think about when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So we're going to check out a quick snippet of that video. Y'all can check out the full video wherever you watch videos online. I'm sure YouTube is probably the place that you're going to go. But this is Kinship with Love You Like That. Please share this out. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll be right back. Hit it, Rob.
Look, I see your eyes are dim. You shouldn't be messing with a guy like him. Grim. Yes, I know the pain's got you hurting, miss. Please don't misinterpret what my purpose is. This change this bitch up, smack this bitch up, yes indeedy. Your ex-boyfriend is a stone cold idiot. It didn't matter whenever he wanted to batter. It just so happened that it was your bloody chose to splatter. To make it up, he tried to bring you some brain. Looking past your bruised face like it ain't no thing. It's all good, cause he said he was sorry. Excuses played out like a game of Atari. Yep, that boy slick and you were his joystick. You're satisfied until he saw another more thick. Whoa. His eyes wandered in the back of my Honda, bragging about how we found this little chick that was blonde. Every time he beat you, he said you made him do it. Your friends tried to help you, but you never would pursue it. He loves me, that's what you told your mom and them. But to you, the word love is a homonym. When I take a look, I see your eyes are dim. You shouldn't be messing with a guy like him. Grim.
Hey, Mom. Smells good in here. Ooh, what you cooking? Favorites? Girl, what's wrong with you? Look at me. Oh my God! Oh my God! I love you. I love you so much. No more. I beg you, no more. He can never put his hands on you.
Deeper with with Dave. Deeper with Dave. Oh, yeah.
Sponsored by...
All right.
No.
So we skipped a little. Oh, geez. Deeper with Dave. Man, what? God, what happened? All right. It's my fault. It's probably my fault.
Dave was in the video.
No, I got caught up in the end of that video, which we will discuss in just a few moments. But
Dave, you're fired. Call me later.
thanks. I mean, Joe always has to interrupt. Deeper with Dave. I get a flow going, and then he just cuts in there, screws everything up. But
Shut
anyway,
up, Dave.
see. Anyway, so we have Australia and Mike. So, and we checked Australia's birth certificate, and it's legit. His name is Australia. He's a third in the family, like he said. But your stage name, so to speak, is the Ubiquitous Poet and the Eloquent Slave. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, man. All right, Australia, you go first. Explain what those names mean, man.
Yeah, so Ubiquitous Poet basically was something that I named myself, and I always found that I liked poetry, and lyricism was important to me as an artist. So I wanted to be universally accepted, right? I understood that I wanted to do this for commercial success. So ubiquitous was the word that I thought had a flow to it. I could throw it in rhymes, and it actually would, multi-syllabic, so I could, use that and play with it. But it also represented kind of my aspirations as an artist when I was just starting out.
Eloquent Slave. I took that name. I try to be very precise. I try to, have the precise rhymes. So that's the eloquent part. And then when I get entranced in a beat, it enslaves me. So, I just put the two together, try to give you the precision rhymes, precision lyricism, and then I become entranced with the beat, which enslaves me. So that's why I came up with the name Eloquent Slave.
I like it, man. I like it. Super cool. So as I say, I've probably said this 100 times, is that rap influences are not my forte, but I was maybe feeling some Public Enemy here. Is like, this is like mid to late 80s old school rap style. It just kind of brings you back as you're listening, at least it did for me, to that era. Are those are those that era, are those rappers and those hip hop artists, are those like your main influences even today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair statement. I think the folks that most influence you when you're coming of age are typically the artists that, or the music you're going to like as you mature. And so, we definitely came up in the era of the native tongues. You had the Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, Big Daddy Kane. So like 90s golden era hip hop is definitely when we came of age. And we were also performing and writing and rhyming at that time as artists ourselves. But, we looked up to those guys. And so those influences definitely shine through. And even today, I think, that's kind of where I feel like it peaked. And so we just keep that going.
All right. So you talk about that era. So did you consider yourselves a rap duo that far back as well?
Yes, absolutely. We always were a duo, even that far back. But the thing I knew back then, our father basically instilled in us at an early age, don't just do one thing. And also think like an owner, not like a player, right? So don't aspire just to be a player, aspire to own the team. Right. And so immediately I knew that we needed to produce ourselves. And then after paying for studio time, we realized we need to own the studio. And so those were investments that we made pretty early on to turn ourselves more into a business than not just an act. Well,
yeah, and that's awesome to hear. It's kind of come full circle in many ways, because just these two videos that I've seen, what really jumps out to me, I said this to Joe last week, was just the example of the other creativity that you guys have and that you inject into your music. Like last week, it was this video, this like futuristic video with cartoons where it depicted both of you as artists, and And this week it's like, boom, it just hits this brick wall at the end and goes into kind of like a movie scene that is really emotional. It's not just this random scene. It really grabs you. It's like, well, what's going on there? Obviously there's a serious message. There's some type of message there. So what is that message in that song?
Well, for me, and I think for my brother as well, it's time to stop misogyny. It's time to, especially for men, to stand up and say something against the misogyny that women, because I have 6 daughters, and
Wow.
Holy crap.
would not want a person or a man or anyone to treat my daughters without anything but respect. So for me, the message is it's time for us to start treating each other, in particular women, better. And it's just that simple for me. Now I'm gonna let my brother give you an answer on that.
And no, that's well said. And to just piggyback on what he's saying, I also would just add to that relationships don't have defining moments like they did. I mean, if you think back in history in our country, the 50s, there were gender roles and people, I mean, they were wrong by today's standard, but people sort of knew this is what society is built on. And somewhere along the way, I think, it's confusing for people. And I think that if you grow up listening to, being called a B and an H, and put down all your life, you don't know that that's not normal, right? And so I think it's important for there to be a voice to say, look, that's not how you love somebody. A relationship doesn't have to be that way. You can still be cool and enjoy rap and be hip or whatever you want to call it, and not beat on your significant other.
Yeah, and what I would add to that, man, is that when you say it's confusing, to me it's confusing to the older era in many ways, like the misogyny and the disrespect. It's confusing to them today because they're wondering, like, why isn't this okay anymore? Because that's how they live their life. And it's like, wait, there's all this change. I just want to go back to how it was in the 50s where I could just like treat people like shit. It's
no
like,
doubt. That's
it's
true.
like, no, man, that's not cool anymore. It's like, just get with the program. And
yeah, no doubt. And I think you'll find another theme in our music, even with the Out of Place Artifacts and with this and other things that we do. We want you to realize that there are multiple facets to everything. And we try to give you, we're not going to preach to you. No. We're conscious, but we want you to think about it and come to a conclusion that's right for you. I mean, the title of the song is Love You Like That. Well, that sounds like a love song. What are they talking about? And it's like, no, it's the worst kind of love song that you could possibly imagine. And we felt that it was important to show the violence, right? Show this woman getting, her ass beat in the video so that people understand this is not a joke. This is real life. Yeah. And so those double entendres are important to us to kind of create that tension.
And also, rap music can be depicted as that woman as well, because the metaphor on that is rap music or hip hop is not what it was. It's okay to do drugs and things like that, which if that's what you get paid at doing, that's cool. But, hip hop and the artistry, I see as the woman as well. And there are people that are beating her, metaphorically, beating her into the submissive format, and we just are speaking about how we don't like that either. So it has a 2-part meaning to me.
Well, that's a great message, man. I think that's awesome, everything you guys just said. So as you're later in your careers, like what are you looking to do the next 5-10 years? Are you more excited about being in the studio and just being creative and releasing stuff online, or are you guys still interested in doing live sets?
Really, for us, I think we want to move and try to dominate, or at least get some level of maturity in, modern day distribution. The online thing, we're learning it as kind of we go, but we have ventured off and we're producing films. We've got a comic book line that's about to come out. We've got a children's book that we both wrote that's going to be released pretty soon. And so we're just kind of branching out to show that entertainment with a message can hit a bunch of different forms of entertainment, and that's what we are going to bring to the people. Also, Out of Place Artifacts. You'll see the short film soon. And that's what these hats, these shirts depict. You can go to the outofplaceartifacts.com and check it out.
Outofplaceartifacts.com. And what's your website again for your music?
Yeah, you can find us basically on all the major streaming outlets. But if you go to make it simple, OOPOF.com, outofplaceartofacts.com. You can find our music, you can find the comic, you can find basically everything that we're doing there. Don't get the action figures and all that stuff too. Yeah.
Okay, so is kinshipent.net, is that correct for?
Yeah, we own that too.
Okay, excellent. All right. Guys, it was so much of a pleasure to have you on. I appreciate all the words you said. I mean, that's really important, powerful stuff, and we'd love to have you guys back, maybe talk about this movie and whatever new stuff you got going on. So have an excellent
Thank
night.
you, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.